Alright, timestamp April 28th, 2026, about 10 p.m. Been up for a while. I know I've got a reputation of being a slacker, but watch your head, Kaiser. Just trying to get out some creamer. Okay, you raised your head on the backswing. That was not exactly brilliant. Yeah, give me ugly looks, it's fine. When a cat sleeps in front of the fridge door, you know. People are going to use that. So you're guaranteed to get attention. May not be great though. Yeah, may not. So pigs came over. We didn't do anything really around the house. I did some food prep and some cooking. Just fed my boys, my kids. Made that pork roast with veggies. Oh yeah. Just basically took that giant chunk of pork, big gallon bag, olive oil, garlic herb, coated it, put it in the pan, chopped up a lot of taters, some carrots, some celery. $300 for about 2.5 hours. Yeah. Starbucks breakfast blend in my Gorf mug. My screensaver just changed. This is awesome. So I've got a lot of pinballs and video games as my screensaver, slideshow, whatnot. Motivation, because once I'm on the other side of all of this, obviously with the arcade games, that's a thing of mine. I'm not planning on getting a flashy red sports car or anything like that. It's not really my jam. Probably going to get a Jeep at some point. But my thing is, I've always wanted to have some arcade games and pinballs. So, you sexy thing. Stranger Things, man. I grew up going to the arcades like those kids. I completely understand. Dig Dug wasn't my game. That was one of my brother's games, though. He liked Dig Dug a lot. You know, not every game is going to be a hit with everybody, right? Yeah, I know we went to Aldi. We got air in the tires, discovered that there's an issue with one of our tires. So I went across town to the place where we got the tires a year and change ago and said, uh-oh. So Dick's has got to take the car over there tomorrow. They've got the tire on order to do the thing, and they, paid for it in advance. It's $117. Ow. Got our tax return, but still, ow. Is what is. Better that than having a blowout at a, inopportune, which I think any moment is inopportune for a blowout. So, came back, I've got some chicken marinating right now. Did the pork. I'm going to be doing some pears, apples, and sweet potatoes tomorrow morning when I get up. It's winding down. Got woken up a little bit early by Kaiser using the litter robot in the living room inappropriately. That wakes me up usually rather quickly. Ark in Space was on, but I didn't really take the time to enjoy it. I was getting out of the contamination zone. And I looked at my phone. It's my watch, And it was like 9:20 something in the morning. I was like, damn, my girl should be here by now. Did she cancel? I mean, is she okay? And I came in here and she was head down asleep at the bar, like she had fallen asleep in class. She'd been here about an hour. Had some cereal and she didn't sleep well apparently the night before, so she was cranky. But we ran some errands. Went to the Dollar Tree. Went to the Dollar Tree where we used to work, and we got to see Barbara and Andrea, and chatted with them for probably about half an hour to an hour, and it was cool. Cool. I mean, Pix has been shopping there for a long time, but we haven't been in because we're usually on this side of town. Pix had been shopping there since I was working there and knew everybody because I was a manager there. And then the last 2 years after we got called ninja locksmiths pretty much by my parents, we both picked up part-time work there. So she's worked there for a couple of years, or did, you know. And when you work someplace, if you actually like the people and you're working someplace, you get this, you know, I always think about the Matt Smith very first episode as the Doctor. That's what woke me up. I don't know if you could hear that. That's Kaiser doing something inappropriate in an inappropriate place. Thanks, buddy. Tiny will clean that up here in a bit. But was it Detraxi? You know, they scan him and they're like, "You're not from this planet," because they're trying to figure out why this person is interfering. You know, "You're not from this planet," and his response is, "No, but I put a lot of work in it." And that's kind of the way we feel about that store, because, you know, it's been our store for a while, the one we shopped at for years, and then I worked there I added up about 6.5 years total, and she worked there for about two and a half years total. On good terms with everybody, left because of the shenanigans with my parents. So it's kind of a weird, almost second or third home for us, you know. So chatted up with some friends. That was nice. Just catching up in general. They're good people. They're good people. I don't typically hang around with junk, you know. I try not to. Made the mistake before, but try not to. Thanks, bud. Yep. The floor over there, I'm sure, was looking a little bland. It's nice of you to dress it up for us. It's good. Tiny's doing laundry. I've got a bunch of dishes that I'm going to be pushing the button on here in a few. Kind of wanted to dish dinner out and get the plates from that, because not quite a full dishwasher load. You know, want to use every space if I can. Just trying to get stuff done, you know. Got my bases for my booths primed. It's pretty much dry at this point. I did the seats already, I did the backs, so paint those, seal them, and assemble them, and then I'll be working on the one that I couldn't get apart because the screw stripped. Annoying, but sorry. X. You alright? Yeah. Be careful if you turn the corner. Kaiser did something not very nice. Sorry, I was having a Sweeney Todd flashback. So Pix did bring over butt ton of boxes, which is what I'm going to be doing when I get up tomorrow. Oof, Kaiser. So that's Queenie. She didn't bring that particular cat over. She's been here. And if there's an elevated box or something, she feels it's her duty to lay on it. So, but I've got 7 or 10, about 12 boxes actually. And it looks like a couple of, like, that there, which is a tray full of, like, sauces and stuff, barbecue sauces, marinades, some Lawry's. I need to get all that pantryed. So, got like 6 projects that we're in the middle of right now. Trying to move things forward one brick, you know. We at least have a battle plan. It's just real sloppy. No way around that. Unfortunately. Health-wise, I feel okay. I had a couple panic attack bouts today, which, you know, I don't prefer. I don't care for that. Excuse me. Yawning and burping at the same time is a rather awkward combination to try. Yeah. I picked up some pears today. Already had apples and sweet potatoes, so I'm going to do like a honey dip bake on that. Cut some nice wedges. Do like a honey nutmeg. Just kind of dip them, put them in the pan. That's tomorrow. And I got 5 pounds of chicken drumsticks marinating in a barbecue sauce right now. Everybody likes it, so it's pretty quick and painless to do that. I can chop up some potatoes, and suddenly we've got, you know, baked drumsticks barbecue style with, you know, a bunch of potato wedges that have a nice barbecue coat on them too. And it's just yummy. And for the most part, you know, not exactly bad for you. Some of the barbecue sauces are a little bit sketch, but high fructose corn syrup. I wish people would stop using it. It's cheap. It's not good for you. But it's cheap. And that's one thing I need to figure out, how to make my own barbecue sauce. It's one of the things on my list of things to do recipe-wise is look up homemade barbecue sauces and start experimenting. Figure out what I like, what I don't, you know. And I can make some variations from there. Honey, brown sugar, you know. I'm good at this though, so I can probably figure out what works for me, what doesn't. Because I know there's like 3 or 4 different like bases you can use for barbecue sauces. Some use vinegar, you know, tomato, depending where you are in the country, what have you. That's an experiment that once things get a little bit smoother over here, I'm probably going to do. It sounds like a fun challenge, frankly. So sorry. I know there's 1,000 recipes online, so pick out a couple that actually sound like a good idea and engineer or reverse engineer them from there. Yeah, take a look at some of the barbecue sauces that are out there, figure out what foundations they use, what I like, what I don't like. You know, if through investigation I discover that most of the ones that are like vinegar based I don't really care for, then don't use vinegar based. You know, I'll figure it out. Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. But I'm gonna eat, because I haven't even eaten yet. I made sure the kids were taken care of, and that was pretty much where I stopped. was like, let me do a quick video just to make sure people understand that I'm alive. I think I did one yesterday. No, I think I did do one today, but it was like 1 in the morning or something. So I hadn't really like done one for today. Just a quick note to say, hey, I'm okay. But I think I'm going to eat and then fall over. Because I got wakened up after about 6 hours by Friday McShitty Pants over here. Creating another abomination in the robot and outside the robot all at the same time. That's why it's pretty awful. Exactly. Evil. But yeah, I see that the administration is using the White House Correspondents' Dinner incident as an excuse to try and spin up for the ballroom. Number one, the event couldn't have been held there anyway because it's not a governmental function. And number two, it's not your house and you didn't have permission to tear down the East Wing. You just did it because you think that you can pretty much do whatever you want. And that's actually not how that works. It's really not. I hope that when he gets out of office, they can actually back bill him for the damages that he's caused. You know, he's been grifting and breaking the emolument clause on the daily, so it'd be nice if they could, like, claw some of that revenue back. Because it wasn't earned, it was stolen, honestly. Just grifting with grifting on the side. And a little grift sauce on top. You know. Presidency is not a business. It's not. Oh, and on that note, got gas today. Bearing in mind that our car is a snob. It even says in the owner's manual, if you don't use the super high fructose corn syrup ultra grade, that it will ping and knock and not run correctly. And we've tried that. We tried to use the cheaper gas before, and you could tell that the engine was displeased with our choices. So we always have to get the super, which is annoying because it's usually at least 50 cents more than everything else. And we paid $5.09 a gallon. I think during COVID, $4 was like crazy. Over $5 a gallon. I think the regular unleaded was like $4.50 or something. Yep. Because of a war that didn't need to be started. But because you got double dog dared, and also maybe people will stop talking about my buddy Jeff, you decided, hey, let's pretend like I'm a badass. Okay, yeah, it's working out pretty well. Good job. No, violence is not the answer. What that Sonic the Hedgehog fan did Saturday night is not the correct answer. But from a voting standpoint, he needs to go. He and anyone who's enabling him, exactly, anyone who's enabling him need to not ever be in power again. You know, the only bright side to, in my opinion, to this administration in general is he and all of his Project 25 buddies are showing us where we're broken and where we can be broken, where the cracks in it are. Because they're taking advantage of rules that haven't been written but should be, and or bending ones that are in place but maybe aren't rigid enough. So he is showing us all the ways that a system can be manipulated. So try to look on the bright side. That's the bright side. If it's something that he was able to do and you sit back and go, he shouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, well, now we need to figure out how the next guy can't. Because clearly we allowed this to happen. I didn't vote for him, to be clear. I didn't necessarily like Kamala as a candidate. I thought she's decent, but I'm still stuck on Bernie, because he would have been an amazing president. Would have been amazing. But the Democratic Party made sure that he wasn't, really able to be the, contender. There was dirty dealings and shenanigans there. But yeah, my ideal ticket, this is obviously, 10 years ago, would have been Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. I thought that would have been a really great ticket, because they're both very anti-corruption. That would have been a definite jolt to the system that some of the powers that be would not have liked, which that's why we can't have it, right? It's that line from The Incredibles. Bob Parr's boss is upset about the fact that he knows that somehow Bob Parr is helping clients. That desperate scream of they're penetrating the bureaucracy. Yeah. He sounds so pained in that line. Exasperated and pained. That's where we are. Right? I'm still not AI, by the way. I'm real. Flaws and all. Go ahead and sign off. It was just a quickie. So yeah, hug your parents. Hug your kids. Exactly. And make it a great day.